Welcome to A&M Reviews. I'm Skybear, and I'm here with my buddy Sal. Sal, what's up?
Not much.
All right, and before we get into this, keep in mind there will be spoilers about the movies that we talk about, so...
You've been warned.
You have been warned. And today we're going to be talking about The Hitman's Bodyguard, which is about the world's top bodyguard gets a new client, a hitman, who must testify at the International Court of Justice. They must put their differences aside and work together to make it to the trial on time. Sal, what rating did you give this movie?
Well, I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. I mean...
Okay. Yeah, I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, there was some mistakes, but hey, it's a comedy action movie, so what do you expect? Plus, it's Ryan Reynolds, so...
And Sam Jackson.
Well, I mean, the only thing is Sam Jackson is good, but then Ryan Reynolds kind of like... He's the same character in all his movies, to me.
Mm.
And I just, from now on, I've been seeing him as Deadpool, and that's it.
Yeah.
Before, he was the Green Lantern guy, but then he kind of got out of the doghouse for me as Deadpool, but he's just like that actor who's just Deadpool. So,
yeah.
Well, I mean, you gave it a 7. I gave it a 7.5, so we're kind of at the same level.
Yeah, I just thought it was like a, generic, action movie, really, but like has like a little something to it, so...
Yeah, I mean, I think that it was the chemistry between the characters, like the comedy. I mean, sometimes I actually thought they were going off script, but I think they stuck to the script. So it was Ryan Reynolds, Samuel L. Jackson in the car. Basically, it's like a road trip kind of thing, but they're always like making jokes off each other, talking about themselves, talking about their mamas or whatever, their personal lives.
Oh yeah, I love the chemistry between them. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah,
like it just seemed so perfect. And although the whole time I couldn't help but think, hey, look, it's Deadpool and Nick Fury on a road trip, and
yes.
I'm pretty sure this is how it turned out.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. Plus, we got Gary, dude. That guy.
Oh, Gary Oldman. Just further proving that he can act in whatever fucking role that he wants to.
Yes, and I'm so looking forward to the next movie. But that's beside the point. But let's stick to this one. Okay. The movie was just full of action scenes, chase scenes, explosion. Plus, you had Sam Jackson in there, so that was a fun thing. Also, Salma Hayek was there. Well, she didn't leave jail much, but she was still there, and her scenes were kind of funny too, especially like when I went to go see it. I took my family, and once she was in jail, and then Sam Jackson and her are talking to each other, and she calls him my roach in Spanish. My parents started laughing, and I was looking at them like, why? It's like, oh, she said a word in Spanish. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. But yeah, and then another thing, the bar where they meet. The translation from Spanish to English, it's roach. So the same word she calls him in Spanish. So that's kind of was funny for us. So, what else? It was funny. Comedy was there. Chemistry was there. Action was there.
Yep. Just pretty much, checked off all the boxes you could expect out of a movie, really.
Yeah.
And, it was just action all the way through. I like that a lot because, even in the down moments, oh, we're going to talk about how we got together. It's still an action scene, which is oh, okay, cool. We're just letting this whole thing rise. All right, I'm down.
Okay, so the funniest scene for me was when he's talking about how he met his wife, in the bar. Mm-hmm. The song that's playing and the action that's happening doesn't match, but it just had me bawling. I was like, Lionel Richie song, and she's kicking the ass of the guys, and he's just standing there and looking at her, and I'm like, it was hilarious. I mean, I was laughing. My parents didn't understand why I was laughing, but yeah, I enjoyed that. Like you said, they had all the boxes checked off. Now, what's the bad side about it? Sometimes the story did not make sense, or some of the choices they took. For example, Sam Jackson got shot at the beginning of the movie. Then next scene, he's running and jumping off buildings with no loss of strength in his leg. He jumped from building into a dumpster.
He was limping. You saw him.
After he probably was like, oh shit, yeah, my character got shot, huh? Okay, limp. But when he's running to the building and everything, you don't see much of that. And then The next day, he's okay. He's running and driving cars like nothing. I'm not a doctor here, but I think a bullet wound needs more time than a few hours to heal.
Nah.
I mean, it was in through, but it's still like, you probably want to stay off that leg for a little bit, buddy, or the infection is going to come in. But yeah, I mean, that was my thing. There was some other scenes that weren't that really done nicely because there were some errors in them. For example, the evidence that he showed in court, he said it's on an FTP server. I have friends who work in with FTP servers, and I access them too. Guess what? It's just a bunch of folders. There's even if it's a picture, you have to download it first to actually see the picture. So it was not realistic. And I mean, for somebody who knows it's just out there. I'm like, oh god, that's like really ticking me off. But I saw other people who didn't care. I mean, obviously they didn't know how it worked. But my other thing is, if he had that evidence, why couldn't he be like, hey, just send an email really fast. I'm going to send like all these pictures.
Well, when is the Tekken movies ever realistic? I mean, let's be real, Sal.
No, exactly. That's my whole point. That's why I gave it a 7.5, because it was enjoyable. But I mean, like, when I sit down, I'm like looking at it, I'm like, I'm going to pick the shit out of this. That's one of the points. That's the other thing. He got shot in the leg, But yeah, it was funny. It was hilarious. I actually enjoyed when Ryan was basically getting pissed off because he's like, I'm not going to help him. He's going to go on his own. And he's standing there, the guy's shooting everything. And he's just standing there talking to the barista or something. And finally he turns around. He's like, fucking shit. He has to go save him. So, and after that, it was chasing the boat and the motorcycle. By the way, I looked up, there was an issue with that because during the filming of that, there was actually an actual accident that happened, and they recorded it, so they kind of put it in the movie. I didn't go into the article that much, but from what I heard, it was like one car hit another and pushed the other car into the water. So somehow that got placed into the movie, so they wrote it in. So I'm like, well, that was kind of unexpected, but it served the purpose. So yeah.
Damn.
That was basically the only thing I found interesting that was not part of the movie, but everything else for me, it was good. The only thing was, if I really needed to pick at it, was a few things, details here and there.
Yeah, I also didn't like that Ryan Reynolds was just being Ryan Reynolds pretty much.
Yes. I mean, like I said,
it's just like, okay, I get it, but I mean, like, like try a little bit more. that's it. but it's not like a bad performance. It's just like, oh, okay, you're just doing your thing. All right, that's cool.
I mean, we had to take it. I mean, Ryan Reynolds is Ryan Reynolds. He's just gonna be the one-sided actor that we know. He's gonna basically just be one-faced, and there's no more expectations from him. I mean, like, unless he goes into a serious role, that he's just a comic relief, and that's it. So that's all I see him.
Well, I mean, I've seen him be serious, but I mean, like, he doesn't do it too often,
Yeah, he can be serious, but not, like you said, not that often. Most of the time, I think he just defaults to being comedy release, comedy character who's just there, and we just take it for granted kind of thing. Like, it's Ryan Reynolds. I mean, unless he proves us wrong with another movie that comes out and he's more serious, takes a serious role. As of now, I mean, I can only see Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, cracking jokes, or Hitman, who's just, again, cracking jokes, or in college, cracking jokes. Yeah, that's him.
Yep.
Or just messing DC characters up. There, I said it.
Well, to be fair, screenwriters, and also people who approve that shit.
Yeah. Yes.
Just like, how many people did that go through where everyone just said, yeah, sure.
Well, I mean, it's because they had the money. They're like, we're good, right? Slipping the dollar on the table. Like,
yeah,
no,
exactly.
Another 100. Are we good now? Like, yes. I mean, because of that, DC movies are getting shit, But
here's holding on for Justice League though, because Joss Whedon's tweaking that shit, and I like it.
Yeah. Hopefully it comes through. I mean, that's the thing. You're too hopeful. I'm still like on the fence. I'm like, I don't really not sure. I'm like, I know it's him, but. Come on,
I'm holding on, Sal. Like, I waited so long for Justice League. I gotta hold on.
He could only do so much. Okay, so we're getting off track.
Yeah,
so
anyway.
With that said,
Yeah, decent movie, like go rent it if you want to. I'd say that.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Maybe we might review a Throwback Thursday for a DC movie when Justice League comes out, and see
maybe.
if they progress. We could basically be like, this is how you do it, and this is how you don't want to do it.
Right.
So yeah. So I mean, if you guys are listening and you want us to review DC movies, old movies, hit us up on the online Instagram. I don't know, emails,
Whatever.
Catch us on the street. Tell us. Okay, now back to the review. I mean, so we covered the basis. I mean, it's a movie, action movie, comedy. Go see it, have fun. It's an enjoyable movie. Funny scenes, hilarious scenes, and after the ending song is sung by Sam Jackson, and supposedly according to his character, that's a song that he sings to his wife.
Huh.
Oh yeah. So Selma actually said, "Sing it to me" when she's in jail, and he started singing it to her. So at the end, I think that's the song. It's a duo, so it's her and him singing it. So, yeah, I don't know how I know that. Oh, I saw it in the credits. Yes, I stayed to the credits to the end, and then I saw it. Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
Yes.
Yeah, I dipped out. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I always stay because I'm like,
Yeah.
let people leave. Less rush on the going out. Plus, my car is like the only one in the lot, so yay, no traffic.
Now we're going to take a minute to remember the late Tobe Hooper. Damn, Sal. Like, we lost Tobe Hooper. I mean,
I know.
he's known for directing the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Poltergeist, the remake of Invaders from Mars, Life Force, and Salem's Lot, and other titles too. But, dude, we lost a horror icon.
No, really. I mean, when I heard about it, I was like, Poltergeist. That's the movie I grew up with. I mean, and then I recently saw the remake, which totally made me appreciate the original.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh man. Did he do all the series? I mean, the trilogy, or was it four?
He directed the sequel.
The sequel.
Yeah, and then that was it.
Wow, but I mean, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's a classic. I am so sure that there's a lot of movies who credit that movie as the master film.
Yeah, I mean, like it changed horror.
Yes.
There's still a bar, and like Texas Chainsaw is like that bar or one of the bars.
Yeah, because I mean, before you just made like Hellraiser and stuff like that just out of your imagination, but this took it to like, hey, this can be real, and it did happen, and this is how it went down or could have gone down. So, guess what? You can be there, and it can happen to you. So that kind of brought it home to a lot of people and kind of got them more scared. Now, Poltergeist, that's a movie that there's a lot of what can I say? There's a lot of backstories to it, especially while they were filming. There's urban legends. Some of them are debunked, and other are on the fence. But I mean, that movie to still hold true up to this day, and all these movies are classics. And he did the Invaders from Mars, the remake. Man, that guy was talented.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sad
and then
loss.
yeah, and then I saw the last movie that he directed. When I found out he died, I was like, I went back to it, and I'm like, I didn't really know he directed it. I just went to see it. It was his screener. So when I saw it, I was like, I didn't know who. We didn't get much information, but now that I went back and saw that he actually directed, I was like, okay, that's why I kind of gave it a little bad review, or I shunned it, because I'm like, he took parts of all his other movies and combined it and gave it a spin and put it in a different location. So when I went to go see it, I was like, hey, they're ripping off other movies here without knowing that, hey, it's the guy, it's his work, he can do it. But oh man, it's sad. Why does everybody have to die that we love who makes movies?
I know, it sucks, dude. Yeah. Oh, and what is it? A cool tidbit I found out was did you know he directed the music video for Dancing with Myself for Billy Idol?
No.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
Right? Like, did not know that.
Wow. Dude could do everything. Well, he directed movies and directed the music videos, so that's saying a lot. Because I mean, there's some that just stick to one thing, but showing his versatility right there is amazing.
Mm.
Yeah, I know that he lived here in Sherman Oaks, but man, how old was he when he died?
He was 74. So, with that being said, let's take a minute of tribute and remember Tobe Hooper. We'll miss you, dude.
They're here.
You son of a bitch, you moved the cemetery, but you left the bodies, didn't you? You son of a bitch, you left the bodies and you only moved the headstones! You only moved the headstones!
The film which you are about to see is an account of the tragedy which befell a group of 5 youths, in particular, Sally Hardesty and her invalid brother, Franklin. It is all the more tragic in that they were young. But had they lived very, very long lives, they could not have expected, nor would they have wished to see as much of the mad and macabre as they were to see that day. For them, an idyllic summer afternoon drive became a nightmare. The events of that day were to lead to the discovery of one of the most bizarre crimes in the annals of American history, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
And that was our minute of tribute for Tobe Hooper. Catch us next time when we go and watch Mother, directed by Darren Aronofsky. I'm stoked for this movie, dude.
I am also stoked.
And social media is in the description. Click and subscribe and hit us up if you have any questions.
And remember, keep watching movies.